You're listening to the Power Agent Blogcast, empowering agents to elevate their business to the next level.
Challenges are just a guide, leading you, don't run and hide. You've got the heart, you've got the drive, feel it pound, you're alive. Power Agent.
Welcome back to the Power Agent Blogcast. We're going to be talking about delegation today and how real estate leaders can use it to really boost their business.
You know, we see so many talented real estate professionals out there, but they get caught up in the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're handling tasks that they could easily be giving to somebody else. It's like they're trying to be a one-man show, and they could have a whole supporting cast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's about realizing you don't have to be the star. You can be the director instead.
Yeah.
Have this incredible team around you.
That's it. True leadership is about recognizing your team's talents and using them strategically, not about trying to do it all yourself. You know, Ronald Reagan had this great quote, surround yourself with the best people you can find, delegate authority, and don't interfere.
That's perfect. That really sums up what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But how do we actually make that shift, from doing everything ourselves to delegating effectively?
It starts with a choice. It's deciding to empower your team by giving up a little bit of control.
So it's not just about getting work off your plate. It's about being strategic with what you delegate and who you delegate it to.
Exactly. Let's say you're spending hours every day on administrative stuff, scheduling appointments, managing paperwork, that kind of thing. Well, those are all things that somebody else could be doing, and it would free you up to focus on the things that really matter.
Yeah, as a real estate leader, you need to be spending your time on the things that directly impact your bottom line. Networking, building relationships, closing those deals.
Exactly. Delegating those routine tasks frees up your time and energy so you can concentrate on what really drives growth. But effective delegation is more than just handing off tasks. You have to align those tasks with your team members' strengths.
Right, so you're making sure everyone is engaged in work, that they're good at and that they enjoy.
Exactly. You're building a team where each part contributes to the success of the whole, a well-oiled machine, A good place to start is by making a list of everything you're responsible for, from the small, everyday tasks to your long-term goals. And then look at each item and ask yourself, does this really need to be done by me? If not, delegate it.
So it's like creating a blueprint of your responsibilities and then figuring out where you can bring in some reinforcements.
Right. Now, you'll want to prioritize what to delegate. The Eisenhower matrix is helpful for that. It helps you decide what's urgent and what's important. Tasks that are important but not urgent, those are prime candidates for delegation.
It's about being smart with your time, working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. But, of course, there are some common mistakes people make when they delegate.
I'm sure.
One of the biggest ones is not communicating clearly. When you delegate something, be very clear about what you expect. What does success look like? What resources are available? When is the deadline? Give your team a roadmap.
You're setting them up for success that way, instead of leaving them to figure things out on their own.
Right. Another important thing is training. Don't assume your team members already know how to do everything perfectly. Invest in some training, provide ongoing support, make sure they have the tools they need to succeed.
Investing in your team's development is so important. It shows them that you're committed to their growth, and it creates a culture of learning and improvement.
Exactly. Now, we have to remember that real estate is unique. Some tasks, especially those involving clients, really need a deep understanding of the industry.
That's true. So how do we make sure that those tasks, the sensitive ones, like those involving client information or negotiations, are handled with the same level of expertise and professionalism?
That's where it's super important to carefully match tasks to specific roles and to individual strengths. For example, you wouldn't want to delegate lead qualification to just anyone. You'd want to choose someone who really understands buyer needs and market trends.
Makes sense. It's about considering both hard skills and soft skills when delegating.
Right. Let's look at some other examples, like property showings. That requires really good communication skills and the ability to build rapport with potential buyers. You wouldn't give that task to someone who's introverted or uncomfortable talking to people.
Right. It's about matching personality traits to the demands of the task.
Another example is social media marketing. You'd want someone who's comfortable with technology, who understands the different platforms and can create engaging content.
So it's about figuring out what your team members are good at and what they enjoy.
Exactly. And then using that knowledge to create a workflow that is both dynamic and efficient. You're not just getting things done. You're making sure that the right people are doing the right things. It's about finding the best person for the job, not just the person who's available. This way you can improve efficiency and empower your team to really shine in their roles.
It's a win-win. Your team is engaged and fulfilled, and the business benefits from their best work. But how do we go beyond just identifying basic skills? How do we really understand our team members' strengths?
That's a great question. We need to look at both the tangible skills, like market knowledge or tech skills, and the less tangible ones, like leadership, problem solving, and creativity.
So we need to see the whole picture, the full range of what each team member brings to the table.
Right. There are tools out there that can help, like the StrengthsFinder assessment. But beyond those tools, it's about observation, interaction, and open communication.
So as a leader, you have a unique opportunity to observe your team, to see their natural inclinations and understand what motivates them.
Exactly. It's about being attuned to your team, recognizing their moments of brilliance, and understanding where each individual truly shines.
So it's about more than just skills and tasks. It's about recognizing the potential within each person.
Absolutely. It's about fostering a culture where individuals feel valued for their unique contributions and encouraged to grow and develop their talents. It's about creating an environment where people feel like they can step up, take ownership and really do their best work.
So delegation isn't just about assigning tasks. It's about creating a culture where everyone feels valued and supported.
Think of it like an orchestra. Each musician has their own part to play, but it's the conductor who brings it all together. They understand the strengths of each musician, and they use that knowledge to create something beautiful.
Yeah, it's like everyone brings their own unique melody to the team, and the leader helps them harmonize into a beautiful symphony. But I imagine it takes more than just assigning tasks. How to make sure that those delegated tasks actually help people grow and help the team become stronger as a whole?
Communication is key. You got to have regular check-ins, offer support and guidance, and be open to feedback.
So you're creating a loop where everyone feels comfortable sharing their progress, talking about their challenges and their ideas.
Exactly. That builds trust and makes sure everyone feels heard. It also helps you see where someone might need more training or support.
So it's an ongoing process. You're always assessing, adjusting, and providing what your team needs to succeed.
And as your team gets more experience and more confident, you can start delegating more challenging tasks, giving them more responsibility, maybe even leadership roles within the organization.
You're creating a culture of mentorship and professional development where everyone is encouraged to push themselves and strive for excellence.
And that brings us back to understanding your team's aspirations. What are their goals? What do they want to learn? Do they want to take on more responsibility?
Yeah, it's about making sure that tasks you delegate align with where each person wants to go in their career.
Exactly. That makes people happier in their jobs. And it helps you build a stronger, more capable team, a team that can handle anything and really drive the business forward.
It's about investing in your team's growth, which ultimately makes your business stronger and more resilient.
And when you invest in your team like that, it shows them that you value their contributions, that you're invested in their success.
Yeah, it creates a sense of loyalty and shared purpose. Everyone feels like they're a part of something bigger.
It shifts your whole mindset, you know? Instead of thinking, I have to do it all, you start thinking, how can I empower others to use their talents? You realize you don't have to be the superhero all the time.
You're building a team of superheroes.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, delegating isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strong leadership. It means you understand the power of teamwork, and you're willing to invest in your people.
It's about inspiring others, not just directing them.
Now, delegation doesn't stop with your internal team. You can also delegate to external partners or service providers.
Well, that's a good point. You don't have to do everything in-house. There are lots of talented people and businesses out there who can provide specialized support.
Right. You could outsource your marketing, hire a virtual assistant to handle administrative stuff, or partner with a tech company to streamline your operations.
It's about choosing partners who share your values and who can deliver the results you need. That way, you can focus on your core competencies and your strategic priorities.
Exactly. Delegating both internally and externally can free up so much of your time and resources. You can scale your business without adding to your own workload.
It's about being strategic, finding the right areas where external expertise can help.
Now remember, delegation is not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process.
So as we wrap up this conversation about delegation, what's the one thing you'd like our listeners to take away from this?
I would ask every real estate leader out there to think about this. What's one task you can delegate this week? and who on your team is the best person to handle it.
That's a great challenge. So think about your to-do list. Consider your team's strengths. And make a conscious effort to let go of something you don't absolutely have to do yourself.
You might be surprised at what happens. Your team members might not only rise to the occasion, they might even exceed your expectations.
It's about trusting in your team and giving them the opportunity to shine.
And remember, delegation is a journey, not a destination. You're always assessing, adjusting, and learning as you go.
Be open to feedback, learn from your mistakes, and keep working on improving your delegation skills.
Trust the process, trust your team, and watch your business grow.
Until next time, keep empowering your teams and leading with confidence.